All right, welcome back, everybody. Honors Functions and Trig. Good to virtually see you all and your happy faces. Um, I'm kind of new to this whole video lesson planning thing, so bear with me, but I'll try to give you something good to use for today. I don't plan on doing a whole lot of mathematics with you guys, just a little bit at the end, but more importantly, I want to take you through a little bit of the Schoology page and some changes and additions that I made to it. So this is just at our main course page for this class. The top link I sent out an email, I don't even know, maybe a week and a half ago or something like that, talking about this one, tips and tricks for online learning. This was made by a friend of mine, Mr. Nelson, who has done the online unit recovery for quite a while. So he has seen a lot of students be successful and he has seen some students not be successful. So he has figured out some of those things that successful students have in common. So I'd recommend that you take a look at that video, especially if you are new to this as I am. The next thing in the course is a Schoology quiz practice. This is for 0 points, but I would highly recommend that you take a look at this. We are going to have a Schoology quiz coming up a week from Tuesday. So, well, next Tuesday. That must be April, gosh, April 7th, I believe. But in any case, before you do it for real points counting toward your third quarter grade, I would highly recommend that you take a look at something like this because some of the answers, things like the square root of 3/2, are a little bit tricky for submitting on Schoology. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows how to do that. I see that some of you have already tried it out. I put it on unlimited submissions, so you should probably do it until you can get 11 out of 11 on this thing. And if there's any questions about why you're not getting credit for a certain type of answer, certainly get in touch with me and let me know. The next link I have here is the link to the Google Hangout. This I've also seen a few of you have gotten onto to go check out. I'm not sure exactly what form this is going to take, but I anticipate if there's quick questions, especially during the morning and afternoon when we have class where I will be accessible. If you have a quick question that I can answer, or if you have a question for other people who are also in the Hangout, you should be able to post little quick texts and get a fairly timely response for stuff like that. If you're watching this video right now, then you figured this out, that my notes are going to go in the topic folder under the notes folder. I've got all the PDFs from earlier in the chapter, but this is where I'm keeping the video notes that I'll be sending out. Like I said, you're watching this, so that means you figured that one out. So I'm not too worried about that, but that's where they will be in the future. And then finally, the last thing that I want to bring up is the attendance. I'm sure different teachers are doing this in different ways, so I want to make sure that you all know that the attendance that I'll be doing will be in the form of these daily check-ins. They are also 0 point quizzes. Your grade doesn't go up, your grade doesn't go down if you do this or don't do this, but I will be doing attendance. And if you are not doing check-ins, then I've got to start making phone calls and trying to figure out why you have not been technically attending class and stuff like that. So just make sure you go in. The first two that I've got set up here ready to go, it's just a quick question that you should be able to answer and make comments if you would like to. The only mathematics that I want to do with you guys is to remind you of where we were. So this is actually the same lesson that we went through already. So just to remind you, in case you haven't thought about trigonometry in the last 2 weeks, this is where we were. We were looking at the unit circle, looking at if I have an angle of rotation of theta. Since the radius of the unit circle is 1, that means that the vertical component, the up and down, is the value of sine because that side length is opposite of theta and the hypotenuse is 1. And then likewise, the horizontal component, the x value, is the value of cosine. So sine is the y value, cosine is the x value, and that is something that is true in the first quadrant and all 4 of the quadrants. So sine is x, sine is y, and cosine is x. That's going to be extremely important as we're moving forward. Sine is the y value, cosine is the x value, and most importantly, sine is the y value, cosine is the x value, in case you didn't get that the first 5 times I said it. And so the example that we did, oh gosh, I don't even know when this was. It feels like it was 6 months ago, but I think it was probably about 2.5 weeks ago. We used basic trigonometry, SOHCAHTOA, to figure out that if I've got a right triangle with a 28-degree angle, we can find the length of the opposite side and the adjacent side if it's on the unit circle. And then using those side lengths, we were able to say that if my angle theta is 152 degrees, we figured out where we are on the unit circle if we're at 152 degrees. And so 152 degrees is 28 degrees less than 180, which means we've got this right triangle over here in this corner where the vertical part is 0.47. And I hope that as I do more of this, I'll get better at writing legibly, but I'll talk you through it, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And this length is 0.88, again, from that triangle. And so if I say, what is the value of sine of that angle theta? The sine value is the vertical component, the y value. We're going up, so it's positive 0.47. And then the value of cosine, that is the x value. It is the horizontal component. We're going to the left, so it's a negative value in this case. Going to the left by negative 0.88. So cosine of the 152-degree angle is negative 0.88. And the last time I was with you, we went through a couple different examples. You have those examples down in your notes already, so I won't bore you by going through all of those again. But that's just a reminder of where we were. So maybe revisit those problems in your notes. And actually, maybe I'll just go through this and stop on them for a little bit longer time so you can have the opportunity to try these problems out. I've got theta at negative 332 degrees. So figure out where you are on the unit circle. It'll have to be a 28-degree angle, either from the vertical or the horizontal. So figure that out. And then the last example I have is the 242-degree angle. Figure out where you are on the unit circle, and then where you are relative to that 28 degrees. That's all the new instruction that I want to do, and it's not even really new instruction, but that's all I want to do with you guys today. Tomorrow we will come back and look at something similar to this, but it will be specifically with the special right triangles that we also talked about that last week that we were together. And we will be spending actually quite a bit of time doing that between tomorrow and then when we are together again on Thursday and Friday. Just a heads up, we are going to be wrapping things up for this, this part of the chapter. Our plan as honors functions and trig teachers is to have instruction this week. On Monday, we'll have a review for our first quiz that will be on Tuesday of next week. As always, if you have questions, certainly email me, try out the Google Hangout, or if you have suggestions for a better means for communication, if you've been doing Zoom conferencing or something like that with your friends, or, well, I don't know, if you've got another idea about how to get your questions answered, I am certainly open to ideas, but I have been talking for long enough. So I'm going to wrap this up and say thanks for putting up with me today, and I will see you again virtually tomorrow. Bye-bye.